Okay.
Uh-huh.
So we have
Uh-huh.
the Cambridge English for Engineering course now. Okay. You're
Exactly.
looking in your screen actually the book at all.
Okay.
Now you might remember that I
Mhm.
give you all the background of the book, each unit and each subject with skills, language, and texts. Okay.
Yeah.
Then so you know that we have 10 units, and also the same book includes you an audio script at page 86, the answer key to some activities in page 96, and a glossary of
Oh,
key vocabulary in page 108, okay,
very good. Very
in
good.
case you need it. So before we start with unit 1, I
Mhm.
just want you to have a little discussion about your field. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I mean, my question is, what field of engineering are you in? You're in, I mean, we have different branches like mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, civil, structural, process or manufacturing engineering, the automotive, the aeronautical, the highway, the coastal. So my question is, what field are you in?
Mhm. Well, my branch
Hmm.
is mechanical and electrical engineering.
Mechanical and electrical
Electrical
engineering.
engineering.
Okay. And I mean, how would you explain in this case to me that I am not a specialist in electrical or mechanical engineering? How
Mhm.
would you describe your work? How would you describe your branch of engineering to a non-specialist?
Okay. Well, in my case, for my work, my describe. I want to describe this like diagnostic. I saw very well. I saw sometimes diagnostics and troubleshootings and
Okay.
maybe technical reports in English. Well, we can. I like work. I like work with machinery. Machinery in this
Okay.
case, heavy equipment. Heavy equipment like loaders, excavators,
Okay.
um, bulldozer, bulldozer, and I don't know. Reed trucks or off-road trucks like that.
Okay.
No,
Okay, that's great.
it's very interesting. It's very interesting in this case because I read this text or this book
Uh-huh.
on the last Sunday, and
Yeah.
it seems like very interesting for me. No,
Okay,
very
that
good.
was a good okay, that was a good
Mhm.
answer. Now, my next question is, what kind of work do you do or do you like doing in your field? I mean, you're accustomed to your work, to your job activity. But my question is, what part of your job or work
Uh-huh.
do you like?
What part of my job I like? In this case, I like to do technical reports, or
Okay.
I'm talking about my functions in my work, but I like the diagnostic. I mean, talking about diagnostics with the components and heavy equipment with one machine and in a
Mm-hmm.
special machine. My objective is always um, the solution
Okay.
for several filers. No, several filers. Uh, we can we can see different filers or maybe problems with own clients.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Okay.
it's very very good for engineering. Talking about engineering, mechanical and electrical engineering. No?
Okay, perfect. Now, my last question, so to this brief introduction discussion, it's in what kind of situation do you need to use English at work? Or maybe your partners, if you have them, in what kind of situation do you have to use English at work?
Oh, sometimes my partners is one aspect of in my work, but I can use the English technical English
Okay.
with my boss and my partners, and maybe with different specialists, technical specialists of
Mm-hmm.
factoring. In this
Yes.
case, for my for my brand, we our in this case, my brand or in my work is Komatsu. Komatsu
I
is
see.
a Japanese brand, no, but
Okay.
English is it's general to all world, no, uh, for all world. So in this case, I can use this aspect, technical English and special technical English.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Thank you. So now, let me introduce you to this Cambridge English course for engineering. Actually, as I told you, it's divided in 10 different units. Okay. So during these 10 units, we're going to talk about different subjects, skills, language vocabulary, technical vocabulary, and text. So
Okay.
in the first unit, you might see the title goes for technology in use. We also talk about materials technology. We have the components and assembles in unit 3. In unit 4, we talk about engineering design.
Design.
Unit 5, the breaking point.
Thinking point.
And then in Unit 6, we talk about the technical development. And
Mm-hmm.
Unit 7, procedures and precautions. Unit
Uh-huh.
8, monitoring and control. Unit
Mm-hmm.
9, the theory and practice. And
Theory
finally,
practice.
Unit 10, pushing the boundaries. Okay?
Boundaries.
So
Okay.
during all these course, we're going to talk about these different areas in mechanical, electrical, civil,
Yeah.
structural
Yeah.
areas. Okay?
Good. Good.
And
Very good.
I just want you to explain that the main emphasis of the
Mm-hmm.
course will be on listening, speaking, and using English actively in practice. Okay, I mean, how we're gonna do or achieve this, we're gonna role plays, discussions, and rather than learning the list of technical words, I mean, we're gonna try to learn just the vocabulary, but by having these activities such as role plays or situations, we have also something that it's called case. During this course, we're gonna have 5 cases. Okay,
Okay.
these
5 cases.
cases,
Uh-huh.
yes, they're divided by each 2 units. So we finish unit 1, unit 2, and
Uh-huh.
then we have a case. In this case, we have some activities that have to do with what we talk about. Okay,
So you
during
are talking about case studies, right? Case
yes, case
studies.
studies.
Okay. Case studies. Okay.
Great.
Good. Good.
So, you are well. You're now looking at the first page in unit 1.
Mm-hmm.
Color bright colors, and it says unit 1. So we have 4 points or 4 keywords or
Mm-hmm.
aptitude that we might try to attempt during these sessions.
Mm-hmm.
So it says in the first one that they have describing technical functions and applications, explaining how technology works,
Mm-hmm.
emphasizing technical advantages, and
Advantages. Mm-hmm.
simplifying and illustrating technical explanations. Okay, and the title for this unit, it's technology in use. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so
Technology enjoy and
yeah,
use. Mm-hmm.
let's start talking that technology it's all around the world. We
Yeah.
use technology right now because we're having an online meeting class course. We use technology when we make a call. We use technology when we drive a car, when we use Messenger, WhatsApp. We have technology in every part of our lives now.
So much electronic devices
Hmm.
with
And
technology.
we're going to use this kind of vocabulary in order to describe technical functions and applications, okay? That it's the aim of this part. So
Mhm.
I want you to
Mhm.
think about two or at least one product that you use regularly. And I want you to think about these next two questions. In number one, it says, what are the main functions of the products? I mean, what do they do? And
Mhm.
what are their different applications? What are they used for? Okay, so I'm just giving you 30 seconds or a minute for you to think in two products. Okay, two products that you use in your daily routine or that you use regularly. And I
Mhm.
want you to think about these two questions. What are the main functions and what are their different application of these two different products? Okay,
Okay.
so I'll give you like a minute. Just think about these two devices in
Mhm.
your daily routine.
Okay, Osvaldo, I can remember two products. Can I, well, in this case, I use regularly in my work. I
Okay.
mean, I can remember the light
Uh-huh.
bulb, the light bulb is like,
Yes.
well, the light bulb is a good product for all vehicles. I mean, it can be like in this case, this product is this product produce light
Mm-hmm.
um, produce light from electricity. I mean, produce light from electricity uh, or by electricity. In this case, in addition to lighting in dark spaces,
Okay.
you can use. I mean, in this case, we can use that in rooms or spaces like I don't know warehouse, etc. No, but
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting because some even some outer space is used
Mm-hmm.
in even some outer space. One more. We can
Okay.
use.
I can give you an example of a device that we use regularly, and it's I think that we
Yes,
have use it every day.
yes.
What about the mobile phone? I mean, the cell
Mobile
phones.
phone. Yes.
The cell phones, we use them for making phone calls. We use them for text messaging,
Okay, okay.
exchanging photos, videos, voice recording. So
Okay.
we use this, the mobile phone. I mean, it's a product. It's something that has technology, and we use them
Yes, yes,
in
yes.
regular life. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Have you other example of any other
Well,
product?
I don't know, but maybe well, accessory like mm, television. I don't know. It's like television
Okay,
or TV.
television.
Uh,
Yes.
uh, Television is a good product. It is in this case is for uh, inform or
Uh-huh.
communicate to the people.
Okay, it's useful
News,
for giving
yes,
us news and advices of
and
different
advices,
situations. Yes.
news advices, uh, and we can see in this time the well in my for my children says classes courses for the school. It is a very good device in this case. No, or nowadays is important.
Yep. Okay. Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Now, um, talking about technological products or devices, what do you know about the global positioning system? devices. Maybe you might know the acronym, the GPS device. What do you
Yeah.
know about the GPS? I mean,
Well,
do you know what is the main function of the GPS? Do you have an example of different applications of GPS devices?
yes. Well, one example where we use a GPS. A GPS is the vehicles, no? Vehicle
Okay.
like a car, right? But
Cars,
in my
trucks,
work,
yes.
we use GPS equipment on equipments like heavy equipments.
Okay.
Um, use the GPS for identify or locate the I mean the equipment uh, on surface or I mean for I can say well uh, we use like is stolen equipment
Okay. In
or
case
finding
there's a
stolen
robbery.
equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, robbery, like finding stolen equipment or robbery.
Mm-hmm.
And there are different GPS with programs superior with superior applications.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
is interesting for the use for these devices. No?
Okay, okay. And well, this is a curious question. What do you know about the origins of the GPS?
Oh, origins,
Yes, do you know
origins.
something about the origin of the GPS? I mean, why did they create GPS? Or maybe there was a different application for the GPS, and at the end, it changes the application, maybe?
Well, in this case, I think the GPS, uh, I think the origin is from military systems, maybe
Yeah, okay.
military system, because all technology is very common.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of situation with military systems, but I don't know more about the GPS. Just I know the letters, the capital letters is global positioning system,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't know where uh, where uh, where was the origin? No.
Okay, okay, perfect. So I'm just going to tell you a fact or a quick answer to that question of what was the origin. And actually, it's that the GPS system was originally developed for military use, yes, in the United States of America, before
Okay.
being made available for civilian use internationally. And of course, with some limitations on its precision. Okay, that was really common
Okay.
years ago when they created the GPS system.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
great things. So let's move on to number two, letter A. We have the next situation. It says Paula, it's a designer engineer for a GPS manufacturer. Okay,
Okay.
so Paula, a designer for a GPS manufacturer, is discussing product development with Jose. Jose
Okay.
is a senior manager of the new company.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so listen to the conversation and complete the following notes.
Notes. Mm-hmm.
Let's look the four different points of the notes. We have the primary application of GPS. We have the associated applications,
Mm-hmm.
the more creative features, and finally the not technical innovation.
Mm.
So these are the four edges of the discussion, okay, between Paula and Jose. So according to what you listen, you have to complete your notes, okay?
Okay.
You have to
Got
look
it.
out for the primary application or the main idea of the GPS system, the associated application, and
Function.
more creative features and stuff like that. Just tell me if you're
Mhm.
able to listen to the audio. I'm gonna play it. Tell me if you're able to listen to it, please.
1.1.
Did you listen that?
Yeah.
Okay, so listen carefully to the audio.
Obviously, navigation is the primary application of most GPS devices.
Sure.
Then you've got associated applications, uses that are related to navigating, such as tracking systems you can use for monitoring delivery vehicles and finding stolen cars, that kind of thing. And then there are more creative features. A good example would be on a boat GPS. You get drift alarms. So, if the anchor starts to drag and the boat starts moving, there's a setting on the GPS that allows it to detect the movement, and an alarm sounds to warn you, and prevents the boat from drifting unnoticed.
I see.
Or, another example on boat systems is man overboard buttons. So, if you're sailing along and someone falls into the sea, you hit a button which logs the position and ensures that you don't lose track of where you were, which then enables you to turn around and come back to the same point and find the person.
Right.
So, these are the kinds of applications we want to develop, more specialized and more creative.
So, effectively, you're not talking about technical innovations. What you're really looking for is innovative ways of actually using the technology.
Precisely. Because in these days, from the end user's point of view, accuracy is no longer the main selling point. Most devices are accurate enough. The key is to make them more useful. So, in terms of development, that's the kind of innovations that we want to do.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe you noticed that we're gonna have different accents, English accents during this course, so that you don't get accustomed to English accent or American accent. We're
Mhm.
gonna have, of course, more accents like Latin accent speaking English, Indian accent speaking English. I think there's a
Mhm.
part where we have the Japanese accent when they're speaking
Yes.
English. So,
Yes.
so that you got accustomed to listen to different English accents, okay, in case you need
Mhm.
to.
Okay.
Tell me if you were able to complete the notes.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so I'm just gonna read the key and you tell me the description, okay? So let's start with the primary application of GPS.
Well, the primary application of GPS is the primary function is or application is navigation in
Navigation.
this case.
Exactly, yes, that was the navigation system created for.
Let me write down
Yes, just write it
navigation.
down. Let me think in here.
The following is
Yes,
associated applications.
okay. There were two.
Exactly. Tracking system for delivery vehicles.
Okay, delivery vehicles.
Okay.
That's called like the monitoring of vehicles,
Yes.
okay?
Monitoring delivery vehicles. Yes. Monitoring
Mm-hmm.
delivery vehicles.
And what about the second associated application for?
Okay. The second is tracking system for finding a stolen vehicle. So
Yes,
finding
it's
stolen
stolen
vehicle.
cars,
Stolen
yes.
cars. Yes.
The
Sorry.
main idea would be for looking or finding actually
Yes.
stolen cars,
Finding a
okay?
stolen cars.
I'm writing the answers in the screen. I think you're able to look at them, no?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Then what about the more creative features? There were two.
Okay, it was drift alarms.
Okay.
Let me write down
The
ready.
drift alarms, great. Let me just write it down in here.
Okay,
And
the
there it
next is
goes.
it's interesting this situation because it's man overboard
Yeah.
buttons, man overboard buttons,
The man overboard
or man
buttons.
overboard
Okay.
button.
This
Man overboard.
idea of the idea of the man overboard buttons that it's really common nowadays. Well, in the
Mhm.
past it was common that when men go sailing into the ocean, sometimes there happen some accidents, and the man fell down into the ocean.
Yes.
And of course,
Yes.
the water doesn't stop moving. So the
Mhm.
boat continues moving, even though
Yes.
the person goes overboard. So the application of this creative idea of the GPS was to use the GPS in the boat so that whenever a person falls down or goes overboard, then you
Yeah.
were able, or the person who is still in the boat, were able to, in this case, push the button so that it
Yes.
sent a
And
signal.
set exactly set
Yes, a
the
signal so
GPS.
that the GPS
Mhm.
localized finds the real position of the boat, so that if
Yeah.
you need
Reposition.
help or someone is going to help you, they find precisely your ubication. Okay,
Exactly. But in
that
this
was
case,
mhm,
the boat can come back to
to the same
the same.
place. Exactly.
Yes, to the same. Mhm.
Great. And the last one was the non-technical innovations that were mentioned by Jose.
Yeah. Well,
Mm-hmm.
in this case, innovative
Mm-hmm.
innovative ways, creative, uh,
Innovative.
innovative
Yes.
ways, creative. The technology, in this case is
Yes.
innovative ways.
Innovative uses of.
Okay, uses. Okay, uses.
Innovative uses of technology. That was
Okay,
the right answer for that.
let me write.
Mm-hmm. Yes, of
Innovative
course.
uses. Use it.
Mm-hmm.
No, okay, useful. Okay,
Ready?
ready.
Great. So, now let's continue by just completing the following extracts from the discussion that we listened between Paula and Jose. You have some phrases, okay, with words that come from use, okay?
Mhm.
So all the words that you're gonna write are or have to do with the word use.
Okay, okay,
In
okay.
this case,
Yes.
use. Maybe you can have useful, user, using,
Okay.
uh,
Useful. Yes.
use,
Useful. Use.
uses, different words that has use, okay? So I'm
Mhm.
gonna play the audio one more time
Okay.
so that you're able to listen to the
Please.
extracts and complete them, okay?
Yep.
So listen carefully, please.
Yep.
1.1.
Obviously, navigation is the primary application of most GPS devices.
Sure.
Then you've got associated applications, uses that are related to navigating, such as tracking systems you can use for monitoring delivery vehicles and finding stolen cars, that kind of thing.
Hmm.
And then there are more creative features. A good example would be on a boat GPS. You get drift alarms. So, if the anchor starts to drag and the boat starts moving, there's a setting on the GPS that allows it to detect the movement, and an alarm sounds to warn you, and prevents the boat from drifting unnoticed.
I see.
Or, another example on boat systems is man overboard buttons. So, if you're sailing along and someone falls into the sea, you hit a button which logs the position and ensures that you don't lose track of where you were, which then enables you to turn around and come back to the same point and find the person.
Right.
So, these are the kinds of applications we want to develop, more specialized and more creative.
So, effectively, you're not talking about technical innovations. What you're really looking for is innovative ways of actually using the technology.
Precisely. Because in these days, from the end user's point of view, accuracy is no longer the main selling point. Most devices are accurate enough. The key is to make them more useful. So, in terms of development, that's the kind of innovations that we want to do.
Okay.
Okay. So please help me by reading the phrase number 1.
Okay. In number one is then you've got associated application uses that are related to navigating.
Mm-hmm.
And number two is tracking system you can use for monitoring delivery vehicles.
Okay.
And the number 3 is from the end user's point of view, because it's point of view users. Accuracy is no longer the main selling point. Most devices are accurate enough. The key is to make them more useful.
Useful, perfect. So there you got the answers. Number 1 goes for uses. Number 2, use. The third one has 2 different answers. Users with apostrophe S and useful.
Okay. Apostrophe S.
Yes, because they're talking about possession. Great.
Mm-hmm.
So just you may notice the pronunciation of the word use in different contexts or situations. So I just want you to make sure that you know the pronunciation of each one. So I'm just gonna say the word and you repeat with me, okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So say with me, use.
Use.
Great. Use.
Use.
Useful.
Useful.
User.
User.
Okay, thank you. In these words, we sometimes use the z sound to make it with more emphasis, okay? It's not the same when you say, I use it for, that when you say it useful, okay? Because you just make a z, you have a deep sound. Yeah, like a z sound, like useful. Okay.
Useful.
Useful, great.
Useful.
Let me just erase the answers in here and let's continue into the next page. There we are. I'm gonna make a zoom so that you're able to look a little bit better in here, like this. I think it looked better. So now we have in here the third part of the exercises with different words. So you have matched the GPS applications with the descriptions. So now we have the name or the name of the application, but we have to connect it with the description. I mean, okay, this is a name. I'm going to use it for topographical surveying. But what is topographical surveying? Oh, well, topographical surveying is letter C, mapping surface features. For example, when the engineers are going to build a new road or a new highway, they need to map the surface so that they know what kind of material, how much material, and any other brief idea of the type of surface that they want to build. If it's soil, dirt, soil, sand, whatever kind of material they're gonna build on, okay?
Several materials for that application.
Exactly. So that's about the topographical surveying, okay? So we have a number 2.
Geological explorations.
Yeah, biological exploration.
Let me check. The geological exploration.
So which one describes the application?
Describe letter D. Application in mining and the oil industry, no?
Great, yes. It's in letter D, the application for mining and the oil industry. It's letter D. I'm going to make my arrow in there.
Good. And the next is number 3, civil engineering. The civil engineering is, let me check. Setting of out position and levels of new structure.
Okay, letter B, yes, exactly. That goes for civil engineering, great. Now let's talk about other kind of engineering. What about aeronautical? Talking about
avionics equipment. In this case, is very easy because this is the for letter F. Letter F is air traffic control, navigation and autopilot systems.
Systems, great, excellent. Then we talk about the maritime application.
Maritime application is for navigation, and letter A is for letter A navigation and safety achieve.
Yes, excellent. So finally, we have the
Safe-
GPS in
it's
cars and
safety.
trucks.
Safety achieve. Okay, GPS in cars and trucks is for letter E, highway navigation and vehicle tracking.
Exactly. You have the answers on the screen so that you're able to relate them.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So just taking some words from this vocabulary or this activity. Can I
Yes.
erase the answers?
Yes, it's good. It's good. The vocabulary
Okay.
is
I just will
correct.
make an emphasis in some words, like keywords. For example, it's in pink
Surveying.
color, surveying, okay?
Yeah, surveying is like an inquest.
Yeah. In this case, when we talk about topographical, I mean, if you say topographical surveying, it's not that you're going to make a survey to the soil or to the highway. I mean, topographical surveying refers to record, to take information about the precise positions of the natural features and structures so that you can draw them down in a map or plans. Okay, it's just to know the location of the object. Like when you're in a building and you want to modify a street maybe, but you know that you have some light towers in the middle, so you need to talking about the maps, you need to know where are they exactly so that you can do the project without having to move or quit those structures.
Yeah. Yes, in this case, it's necessary to take one reference with accurate, or with precision.
Yes,
like
with
you
accuracy. Yes.
told me, yes, accuracy. For it's interesting that engineering, civil engineering is like a branch of civil engineering.
Yes, like that.
Yes.
Then the other word that I might have an emphasis, it's geological. Okay, it's related to the ground, rock, soil, like geology or a geologist. We also have such as civil engineering that, as you said, it has to do with topographical surveying. It's the person who is in charge of the design and construction of large structures, such like bridges, dams, skyscrapers, roads, railways, airports, any structure. Okay. Of course, we've got the word avionics. I mean, the avionics is the electronic system in aviation. For planes or helicopters, that's the avionic equipment. All the GPS, all the steer wheel, the buttons that you have inside an airplane, that's the avionics, okay? And finally, maritime, sorry, it goes for something related to the sea or the shipping. Yeah.
Yes.
Great. Have you got any questions about this word or this activity?
No problem, teacher.
No, until now we're starting with a relaxed situation, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Well,
so let's continue. We have like a mini practice. It's a simple practice explaining the application of GPS in exercise 3A, the exercise that we have just answered, to a colleague who has limited knowledge on the devices using the following phrases. So we have the phrases used for plus an ing. I mean, it's used for looking, you know? After you use used for, you use an ing verb. It's a rule. Okay, used for and a verb with ing. Used for looking, used for finding,
used for tracking systems.
Exactly. Used to, and then you have a base verb. Oh, it's used to find a base form, okay? Useful for, it's the same, and a similar use or another use, it's when you want to explain another idea or application that you can have, talking about GPS. So I just want to make a brief exercise, and I want you to explain, now that you have different application in GPS, 6 different applications in the last exercise, I want you to explain one of them. You can use, of course, the description. I'm going to do an example for you, okay? It says, I want to talk, for example, I'm going to explain to you the maritime application. So look what I do. I'm going to use some of the phrases in the sandbox, okay? Some of these phrases, I'm going to use them. So it says, maritime applications is the GPS is used for maritime application, okay? That means that we can navigate, that we can have a navigation at safety at sea, okay? Another similar use could be, for example, when you go swimming and you have like a life safe boat with an orange color so that people identifies you that you cannot swim, because that's why you have like a lifeboat. So that's the same idea, okay? So that people look at you or identify you. In this case, it identifies the ships, the boats, okay? That's why it's a maritime application. Then I use 2 phrases. So I just want you to do an example using some phrases on that sandbox, please.
Well, in this case, the maritime application for maritime application is, for maritime application,
you can use another application.
Yeah. Okay. Well, explain maybe on the GPS.
Okay.
The GPS. GPS is used for tracking systems, identifying with precision the person or vehicle, right? And it's used to find stolen cars.
Okay.
And maybe sometimes we have different application, and you can make of them more useful in machinery or systems with these accessories, or systems with electronic devices, with electronic devices, no?
Okay.
And another applications you can use, you can get a similar use with machinery or maybe ship space. I don't know if you know ship space. Is it ship space, right?
The spaceship.
Because I hear spaceship. Sorry, spaceship. With the spaceships, I hear sometimes where the spaceships can use this class or this kind of device, no, like GPS for this.
Okay.
I think maybe we can use that for that expressions. Maybe.
Okay, great. Okay, amazing. So now, after doing this, we have 3 different phrases or extracts from the conversation between Juan and the lady. The name of the woman was Jane, I think. I don't remember the name of the woman, but we have
Paula.
Paula.
Yes. Paula.
It's Paula, yes, Paula and Jose.
Jose, yes, Paula.
Yes.
Jose.
Okay. So In exercise 4, we have to complete the extracts. Now you can see that you have in bold letter the options like allows and prevents and the word enable and ensure. Okay. Do you
Okay.
know the meaning of the word allows and prevents and the word enables and ensures?
Enables and ensure. No, I think I know that the means of these words. No, I know. In
Yes.
this case,
Okay.
mm-mm.
Okay.
Well,
Great.
in
So.
the first is
Mhm.
there is a setting on the GPS that allows it to detect the movement. This
Yes.
allows.
Exactly.
The second is an alarm sounds to warn you and prevents the boats from drifting or not
Great. And
unnoticed.
prevents the boat from drifting unnoticed.
Okay,
Great.
yes, it's logical in this case. Three is in you don't lose track of where you were. Okay, and ensure
Yes.
that you don't lose track of where you were, which when enable you
Mm-hmm.
to turn around and come back to the same point. Well, I try to remember
Yes.
the
Actually, I think
situation.
it was quite easy. Look, the antonym, the opposite word of enable, it's unable. So you might
Enable.
remember that if you say that something is unable to do or
Uh-huh.
unavailable, it's that there is no possibility.
Yeah, okay.
So the opposite, in this case, enable, means that there is possibility.
Mhm.
Okay. So uh, let's talk about some synonyms, like the same words in here. In letter B, you have 1, 2, and 3. And you
Okay.
have an equal sign, and of course, you have a word. So look at number
Uh,
1, it says makes sure. Number 2,
make
you have
sure.
two words, and it's that mean permit, the permission. And the third one means
Uh-huh.
stop. So
Stop.
from the words that we used, allows, prevents, ensures, and enables, I
Mm.
want you to write them down to the synonym, sorry.
Okay. In this case, well, now it's more easy for me. The word stop because it's prevent.
Prevent, yes, of
Prevent
course.
is synonyms
Yes, prevent, you want to stop
from
something.
stops. Yeah. And the second is make sure. Make sure is like allows. Maybe
Um,
allows.
Look at this
Like
at
allows.
the
No.
definition of allow. It says
No.
there's a setting on the GPS that allows it to detect.
Allows it to detect.
That means that it gives
Mm,
us the chance. It gives you the permission to detect
okay.
it.
Give me a chance. Yes. 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 No. In this case, it's enable.
Enable,
Enable. No.
exactly. Make sure it's to
Exactly.
enable something. Remember that
Yes.
enable is to have zero possibility. So
Okay.
enable makes it sure there's possibility.
Mhm. Okay.
That
Okay.
give us the last two
Good.
words that have the same meaning, that it's permit or to give
Mhm.
permission, that are
From permit is allows
allow
and
and
ensure. Ensure.
ensures. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Allows and ensure. Ensures. Right. Good.
Okay.
I can classify that the words talking about synonyms, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Okay,
Prevent
perfect.
stops.
Let me just erase this thing in here and let's go a little bit down.
Okay.
So
Next
now,
is complete. Mhm,
it
mhm.
says complete the following extract from the user's manual of a GPS device using the verbs in exercise 4A. I mean the words
Mhm.
from allow, prevent, enable, and ensure, okay? Sometimes more
Okay.
than one answer is possible.
Mm,
Okay, there are sometimes that there is more than one answer possible. For example, maybe the answer could be allow or enable. So
yeah.
both of them are
Okay.
correct
Okay.
because they have the same meaning.
So
So
I.
go
Mhm.
ahead.
So I need to read this description. Their
Yes.
core function or main
Uh-huh.
function is the same. Of your GPS receiver is to your GPS receiver is to allows allows
Okay, to allow you. Allow without S, okay?
mhm. But
Because
it's
it's
good.
not the third person, because you're talking about you. Recuerda?
Yes. I know. No, it not allows. Is
So it allows you to locate your
it,
precise geographical position.
is uh, enable maybe
Okay.
enable you to
To
locate your precise to
yes,
enable
also.
your precise geographical position. Yes, to to in this case the device to function.
What do you
Let's
call
say
when you
see,
a device to function?
the device function. Um, the device function maybe this in this case is to allows
To allow, yes,
yeah,
or you
that's
can also use enable.
you know, I can use anyway anyway
Yes, it's the same in here.
okay allows the device to function and receive a less three signals simultaneously from the GPS constellation through the
Mhm.
dedicated satellites which ensure
Ensure,
receivers
yes,
receivers
exactly, great.
can function okay ensure receivers can function anywhere on Earth.
The,
Two the number four is extremely precise position positioning in extremely precise position to prevent extremely precise positioning or and
well,
no this is for five because it's
yes.
errors
5,
seven
it's
is
prevent, yes, of
that's five
course.
but the four is prevent is for en, enable or enable in this
Yes,
to
enable.
enable extremely precise
Enable, or you can also use the word allow.
allow
Okay, that means to
to
give
okay
permission so the GPS can extremely precise positioning.
extremely precise positioning and number
Mhm.
five is prevent errors from occurring due to external factors. This device is designed to receive or separate signals, see and enhance it. System
Okay,
accuracy on page 18.
exactly.
Okay. Well,
Great, excellent.
mhm.
Okay, I raise these things in here. And therefore, exercise 5, we are gonna do it tomorrow in the next session, as we
Mhm.
need a resource sheet that I'm gonna send to you, okay?
Mhm.
Because we sometimes are gonna have some exercises that we're gonna have a resource sheet for each exercise,
Mhm.
where you're gonna maybe write down the name of a product that you want to explain. As maybe
Okay.
you notice in here that we have some words that help us to explain to
Mhm.
someone the
Mhm.
application of a device. In this case, we
Mhm.
focus on the GPS. And we
Yeah.
we look at words such as allow, prevent, enable, ensure, and phrases like used for, useful for used to and other similar use. These phrases help us to explain someone else how does a system or a product works and what we use it for. Okay.
Mhm.
So we're gonna
Okay.
have this next task about by having a resource sheet.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna give you some products. You're gonna choose one, and I'm gonna give you like a 2-3 minutes activity time, so that you're able to create your explanation, and then you can
Mhm.
just show it aloud, so that we know if you were able
Mhm.
to use the vocabulary of allow, prevent, etc to explain, in this case, the device that you choose, the product.
Okay.
Okay,
Mhm.
great, excellent. So as you can see, and until now we have like 1 hour 5 minutes time. We're supposed to finish at 7:30, so that we have more time at least to have dinner.
Okay.
Okay,
What time is it,
let's.
sir? I don't know what it.
It's 7:32.
7:32.
Yes,
Okay.
the time goes flying in here.
It's very fast, the time.
Yes, let me stop recording, and that's why the class of the first session.
Yeah.